Hey everybody, so this week I'm going to talk to you about Peer-to-Peer University, or P2PU. So P2PU is an online open education website that offers free classes and openly licensed course content and learning content for free to anyone. P2PU is one of a growing trend in open educational initiatives similar to Khan Academy and iTunes U that works to build new models for lifelong learning and learning alongside or outside of the traditional K-12 or college classroom. So I'm presenting P2PU to you today for two reasons. The first is that I think that it can be a really useful tool to use in the library and a classroom with students. And the second reason is that I think that it's actually a really great resource to support your own continuing professional education once you're out of school, out of your master's program. And I think it can be really useful for both librarians and teachers like you all. So first, let me share with you an example of how you could use P2PU with a library or classroom project. So say, for instance, that your students are interested in beginning web design and you want to provide them an opportunity to learn a bit more about the basics of web structures and HTML. Perhaps you're doing this as an extra credit opportunity or a large group activity. So then what you might want to do is have your students perhaps enroll in a class called the Hackasaurus Challenge, which is available on the P2PU site. So let me walk you through this. So this is a P2PU, is a really, really hard acronym to say over and over again, main website. And so you can see you can search for a course here under Find a Course, or you can create your own course too, which I think is another powerful part of this, is this tool. But what I'm going to do right now is scroll down to the bottom of the page, and you'll see laid across the bottom are these 5 different schools: the School of Innovation, the School of Mathematical Future, School of Webcraft, School of Education, and School of Open. And these are just their different schools that they use to kind of organize their content. So I'm going to go ahead and click on School of Webcraft and scroll down. And so here are some of the challenges that are the courses that they have. And so I'm going to click on this Hackasaurus Challenge. So let me give you some basic information about what Hackasaurus is. So Hackasaurus is a Mozilla project that helps introduce basic web design to novice designers or programmers. So I'm going to click over to the Hackasaurus website just to give you an idea of what it is. So this is the Hackasaurus website that you'll actually use in this P2PU course. And so I'm just going to kind of walk you through what Hackasaurus is all about. So they say here that Hackasaurus makes it easy to mash up and change any web page like magic. And so what it does is, we're going to click Get Started, is you put on these X-ray goggles, or what they call X-ray goggles. And once you put these on, what it does is it makes everything interactive. So anytime you scroll over anything on the web page, you actually see the HTML code that's written to actually design and structure the website. So you can see as I scroll over here, the heading X-ray goggles, you see that it has the HTML tags H1. And the really cool part about this is that it not only lets you see the HTML behind the website, but you can also, if you want, double click on any of these colored spaces and you can change the code. So say that you want to experiment with how different headings make headings bigger, right? And you can see over here it changes as you change the HTML code right here. So it's basically just a way that you can get students, so here I'm changing the text. It allows students to start experimenting with web design. And you can see now it changed to here I'm changing the text. So it actually did change the actual website after I manipulated the text editor there. So that's the basics of Hackasaurus. So now back to the P2PU site. So the P2PU site has a class or a challenge that gets kids to engage, or gets anyone really to engage with the Hackasaurus interface. And what it does, like most open educational courses, it sets up challenges for you. And here there's 3 challenges. So in order to meet the challenge or complete the class, you have to introduce your dinosaur, which Hackasaurus, right, is a form of fictional dinosaur that helps you hack the internet. So Introduce Your Dinosaur just asks you to go to the to this course's discussion board and introduce yourself, and you can get a badge for that. You get points for that. The second task then is to just start to learn about what the X-ray goggles are all about, what you can do with them. You'll get points for this. And then the third task is to actually remix a web page. So then it asks you to do what I was just doing, what I just showed you guys, is to have the students actually remix a web page, take a photo of it, take a screenshot of it, and then submit it for review. And then once that happens, they can earn a badge, right? And then they get this Mozilla HTML decoder badge. So I could see that this would really work well with younger students who are just starting to be interested in learning about the basics of web design. So it could be good for an extra credit opportunity, you know, because I think it's something that's pretty intuitive if you first introduce the students to the P2PU site and Hackasaurs. But it could also be something really cool to work through as a class, you know, so you could log in, create a login for your whole class and you know, fulfill these tasks and get badges. So that's how I think it would be really good to support in-class use. But I think also that P2PU is in particular really well suited to supporting continuing education and professional training for librarians and teachers as well. So I showed you the 5 schools, right? Let me go back to the homepage, that they organize their courses around. And in these schools, you can find courses. For example, you can learn how to build open access course content, how to write a grant, how to put together a makerspace, or how to put together your first web page. So these are all skills and knowledge that may be really useful to you once you find yourself engaged in your profession and after you're away from your own master's education, so outside of school. But for right now, what I really want to do is point out and highlight the School of Open. Let's see. So the School of Open has classes designed to help people, mostly K through 12 educators, learn about open access materials and the open access movement. So I should preface with saying that P2PU is associated with the Creative Commons movement. It's supported, and in particular, this college, the School of Open, is directly related to the Creative Commons organization. So, but I'm really quite impressed with the courses that they offer here. In particular, the one I'm going to show you is called Creative Commons for K through 12 educators. I'm going to click on this here. Because it's a really active course that asks teachers to learn how to find, remix, and reuse open educational resources over the course of 7 weeks. So this looks like a pretty formal class. It has tasks similar to what we saw in the Hackasaurus challenge we just looked at, but it's more designed to actually get teachers and even librarians actively engaged with open educational, open access resources, and then creating new ones of their own. So I was thinking about it, and I was thinking that this class could be a really great way for you as a new librarian, to help teach teachers and instructors about the value of open educational resources and open access materials, if that's something you're interested in doing. You know, and I could see maybe as a librarian, you might set up a P2PU study group or even a night school for teachers that meets every week to work through some of these challenges that they have for each week of this course. Or, you know, because this is open education and all these resources available are open, you could also revise the course and make your own course, right? Make your own course for your own school that meets your own needs of the teachers or your library. And I think that this would just be a really great way to embed yourself in the teaching community, you know, of a school. It could also be a really great opportunity for you to build a social community between teachers and you as a librarian, or if you are a teacher. So what I think this is useful for then, for continuing education, is not only to keep up on your training and learn new skills after you're out of your master's program, but perhaps as a librarian, if you do want to bring teachers or anyone else in your organization, if you're not in a school, if you're in a different type of organization, bring them together to learn new skills that can help your organization grow, become more creative, or move forward. So So kind of wrap up then, the open education movement is really only gaining momentum. And as I alluded to earlier, there are tons of available resources and tools that one can use to continue their education outside of school. And this is a topic that I'm really passionate about and I'm pursuing in my dissertation. So if anyone wants to talk more about this, I'd love to talk more about it. But what I've done for you guys is I've put together a list of other examples of open educational resources that you might be interested in using aside from P2PU, because there's lots of great ones out there that you might be interested in using either in your classroom or in your library to teach your students, or as a way to continue your own education and professional training after you graduate. Or, as I suggested, maybe using it as a platform for providing information and building local community in the schools and organizations where you eventually end up working. So let me know if you have any questions about anything. Like I said, this is a topic quite close to my heart, and also I'm quite engulfed in it right now. So let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me an email or tweet at me, and I hope you guys all have a great week. And I hope to hear from you.